Hi all, we're going to go back now to the first round where Morozevich was playing black against Sergey Karjakin, and he played a Sicilian Taimanov. So Karjakin kicked off with e4 and Morozevich went into the Sicilian Taimanov. So that's e6 and now this knight c6, queen c7. And the system that White used was actually an English attack formation. So White playing a pawn to f3 to support the battering ram effect of g4, g5, h4 later. So really, in a way, the English attack is a way of saying the battering ram system. If we remember that video on cross-pollination of ideas, it does seem to be a very good generic system to play against all sorts of Sicilian defence type structures or placements. So we'll see now that White just played bishop e3. So he's preparing the battering ram basically. With f3, he's going to castle queenside and just try and smash the black king up. So that's the theory of it, and we'll see what happened in practice. So a6, queen d2, very logical moves. Knight f6, he castled queenside. So it's really reusing that idea, the structure is in the Sicilian dragon. So basically, that structure has gone into these other systems, cross-pollinating the other systems. But, so after bishop e7, f3, so White is, as well as stopping knight g4, he's going to prepare the battering ram g4, g5. It's simple, crude stuff, effective, even at this, very high super GM level against the world number 5. So g4, the world number 5, Morozevich plays b5, and now we see g5. And, this is a bit scary to play with black. It doesn't matter what you're rating. If White's going to sort of use these pawns to batter your king, is this opening, playable with consistent results? Is something more solid like the French or Karjakin to be preferred? But, Morozevich is an exciting, dynamic player, and maybe he thought he'd, get enough counterplay. So he plays knight e5. So there's the classic counterplay on the c file with the c4 outpost. King b1 and now bishop b7. So also, black's potentially got some counterplay on e4. And after h5, rook c8, White now plays an interesting preparatory move. He plays actually queen g2. So, what was the idea of queen g2? Well, potentially he's going to be able to play f4 now, and he's supporting the e4 pawn. Also, any g6s, it's going to be useful to be able to place the queen on either h2 or h3 without it being blocked by, say, a knight blocking if the queen was on d2. So maybe that's one of the ideas of this queen movement to g2. After b4, though, the knight doesn't go to e2, it actually goes to a4. So the GMs know when to break the rules. The knight is rim on the dim is a classic, beginner rule. But in this position, is the knight exploitable? Well, bishop c6, there's knight takes c6, so it's not totally exploitable. Queen a5, b3. And also, if b3, the knight can come back to b2 and maybe c4 later. So the knight on the rim is not so dim here in this particular position. Morozevich, though, tries to get counterplay now by playing f5. The problem is this semi-open g-file. So he's really opening this g-file up against his king. So White does take en passant here. And after knight takes f6, it seems as though black is inhibiting f4 from White, but also has some scary, semi-open file pressure himself now on black's f-pawn. After bishop d3, rook f7, as though the rooks are simply going to double on the f-file. And here, there's another preparatory move, b3. So potentially the knight's going to reroute now to c4. After c f8, so black is using that semi-open f-file which he'd prepared with f5, changing that structure. But look at the g-file. Is that more important than black's f-file? Rook dg1. So look at White's pieces. They are crudely placed for the attack, and this pawn remains a useful resource. And potentially look at this bishop. It's going to have a useful role later on in this game, as it turned out. It seems to be doing absolutely nothing in this position because of the blockaded e-pawn. But, watch it to see what happens later. knight e8. So now this pawn is really being attacked by all of black's pieces. So white protects it. Rook h3. But it's defense as well as attack, because the rook can also now potentially switch to g3 to increase the pressure on g7. Bishop f6. And now we see a nice rerouting move, knight b2, so improving that potentially bad piece. And if it can come to c4, then it'll be a useful piece in trying to lift this blockade of the knight on e5 if it came to c4. And if that blockade's lifted, then e5 and bishop takes h7 might feature in many variations. So knight c6, black lifts the blockade in any case, voluntarily. After knight takes c6, queen takes c6, the knight does come in to c4, and white now with knight c4 is also threatening e5 because the knight is supporting e5. Black now plays d5, and here the white evaluation according to Ripka goes up immensely, and it's because of this bishop being finally unleashed on h7 in critical variations, as we're about to see. So after e takes d5, black played e takes d5. Actually, there's not much to choose from here. They're all pretty bad alternatives according to Ripka. And now white simply played h6. And guess what? Morozevich resigned in this position. So white's just left his knight and pre, it seems, and black, instead of taking a knight, just resigns. So that's quite a mystery, isn't it? Let's have a quick look. D takes c4. What would have happened? Well, there's bishop takes h7. So we see the battering ram in full force now, with this bishop really exposing the king. So let's say king takes. It's actually a mating free here. H takes g7 check. And assuming black doesn't want to play bishop h4, if king g8, then there's rook h8 mate. But bishop h4 is totally hopeless here, because, well, actually the most clinical approach here is not even to allow queen h6 here. So queen h6, this is a clear mate. So basically, but even more accurate, as computers find even the most accurate moves in this position. G8 is even quicker, because here queen takes g8 is mate. But let's go back now. So that is the black king taking. It's totally hopeless. Now what if the black king moves to h8? So here it seems you know black's one move away from some serious counterplay. Or is he? Actually he's not, because he hasn't even got a rook behind his queen, so he's not really even threatening c2, and it's also protected by g2. So it seems white's attack is actually with several tempo more than needed actually. In this position, just bishop e4 is crushing. So what does black play here? If he moves the queen, h takes g, and if king g8, then there's simply bishop h7. There's an even prettier variation here actually. Even queen takes g7 is winning. Rook takes hg, rook h8 check, queening. So even that will be winning. This queen g7, if white wanted to play a very beautiful move. So it can be taken by several of black's pieces. 1, 2, 3. So, but actually just in this position, hg7, so that's a double check, and after king g8 then there's simply bishop h7 mate. So really black's king was the target for the battering ram. The battering ram is basically another name for the English attack. The English attack formation borrows its structure from the white side of the Sicilian dragon. So white's playing this f3 move. So we saw this in the Sicilian dragon, and it cross-pollinated other opening systems where black's playing all sorts of Sicilians. So in this case, technically it was a Sicilian Taimanov. So Taimanov is so with E6 and then it's Queen C7. But yeah, so the English attack system, or the battering ram system, a generic system you can use in your own games with great success, with great practical success.